I got the latest from Dixon and Brad Garlinghouse. We're also going to talk about a massive undertaking in crypto, something y'all need to see. Gold versus BTC says, yo, the rest of Uptober is going to be juicy. We'll talk price action along with.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And it looks like a storm is rolling in here. And if you're wondering where here is, I'm in Guatemala. In the description down below is a link to my second channel where I'm sharing with you my adventures. We're going to talk crypto, price action, bigs, and, well, your comments. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter most. Minute Dog's hanging out with us and says, ain't getting none of that in the upstate, huh? He's talking about the food. Yes, I even posted about my food yesterday. Was hanging out at a badass bar last night. Had a blast. He said, looks good. I got the munchies too. Footballs and Mary Jane. Speaking of footballs, happy Sunday, everyone. And holy shit, what about Ohtani yesterday? 10 plus strikeouts, 3 home runs. Whoa, girlfriend. Best ever? You tell me. Samuel says, you did one of the best videos ever. You want us to be cautiously optimistic, but optimistic nonetheless. I love this version of, yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the video that says no gauges on it. And guess what? There was a big Xlm video that I launched late last night about an ETP backed by XLM. I'm going to have those videos, what everyone linked at the end of the video. Seriously, check out that XLM one. It is about an ETP product backed by XLM. I like that action. Lee Anderson says, we all appreciate your dedication. I use your information and it helps me out a lot. Prost. Well, salute. Thank you, kind sir. Yeah, remember, I bring you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. And the good is what today? We got green up on the screen. And, ooh, storm's coming to get me. Bitcoin, 108,449, ETH is 3980, BNB is 1118, while XP is at 240, Sol at 190, while ADA is at what? 65 cents. Why am I bringing up ADA? You'll see why soon enough. Altcoin season, 23 out of 100. Oh, man. Whoa. Uptober isn't over yet. I've got some deets to share with you, and it has to tie into crypto versus gold. Yeah, baby, I got your action right here. BTC dominance at 58.8%. I honestly think you're not going to see much in the BTC dominance swing until we get altcoin regs. And then the second time you're going to see a big bite taken out of Bitcoin is going to come from when the alts get their ETFs. Because what have we noticed? We've noticed that with BTC and ETH, the bigs wanted the ETFs. And as soon as those ETFs came in, what happened, everyone? We got billions and billions of dollars of inflow. So when the alts get it, maybe the alts are going to, well, you know what I'm going to talk about. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong emphasizes the culture of challenge over comfort. I'm highlighting this for a specific reason. Let me read to you a couple excerpts, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm bringing this up. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has once again sparked attention with his forthright comments on the company's demanding work culture. According to Armstrong, working at the major U.S. crypto exchange is not for everyone, and Coinbase makes this clear from the very start of the hiring process. He stated, the firm prefers transparency over comfort, ensuring potential employees understand the intensity that comes with being part of the team. He says, guess what? Working at Coinbase isn't for the faint of heart. Well, it's not just working at Coinbase. Being part of the greater crypto ecosystem isn't for the faint of heart. Crypto, one of the most volatile asset classes out there. So the stress that you and I feel is also the stress that the employees feel. It's also the stress that what? Like the people, the big exchanges feel. This stress is because this is new. And I'm not talking about new like, oh, we're in before everyone else. I'm talking about new as we're operating without regs. We're operating on the premise that we're going to get ETFs soon, that we're going to get some more clarity, that we're going to get some, what everyone? Yes, forward progress. But think of the beginning of every big object. Someone said to me earlier today, bro, is this what it was like when they were building trains back in the day, when they were laying tracks down? It wasn't easy. There was a lot of struggles. Same thing when building the pyramids. Anything big, and that's what we're living through right now, which is awesome, is not for the faint of heart. So I know this message that Brian Armstrong had is for the employees, but I think this is also for all of us. When you're in crypto, you have to understand that this is going to be wild until we get all the regs. Crazy midnight network milestone target set by Cardano founder Charles Hodgkinson. Okay. For context, Loja shared that the Midnight Foundation is pushing the team aggressively to ensure the growth of the ecosystem. He mentioned that Midnight's activity is driving more usage on a Cardano. More importantly, though, Loja revealed some numbers and some progress made by the team. I'm going to share with you these numbers, and then we're going to look at something, okay? He stated that the smart contract deployments on Midnight are up 44% in the third quarter. Pretty good. And that new contracts being created are up 45% in the weekly average deployments. This is really good, right? Good for the development of the ecosystem. Now, does ecosystem growth add to price? Well, let's just type this in right here. Let's go to ADA and we're going to find out what everyone that ecosystem development has nothing to do with price. I mean, think about this. Look at the chart, right? Look at the 1-year chart of ADA. Look at the 1-year chart, hell, of almost any crypto out there. None of this says, yo, girlfriend, development. No, the boom right here, the election action. Oh, what about this? The mention of the whole strategic reserves and all that stuff that was going on. So, yeah, development is cool, but it doesn't lead to price action. So when players out there are saying, yo, we're going to build the best smart contracts, we're going to build this and that, remember, macros move cryptos more than anything. Speaking of macros, gold peaks as Bitcoin falls, but Uptober isn't it yet. This is part of being cautiously optimistic. In 15 years, only 4 Octobers have closed in the red, but with a 73-point chance of finishing in the green. The odds still lean in Bitcoin's favor. Despite the shaky start, many believe the month of October could flip bullish before it ends. According to recent data, we're going to start talking about gold, right, and BTC. The gold BTC oscillator hovered around negative 1.8, historically tied to cycle lows where BTC started outperforming gold. As Zhao Wisdom, CEO of Alpharetical, put it, the chart is basically screaming about how it's time to sell gold and buy Bitcoin. I'm sharing this with you because here, 3-month chart of gold. Absolutely bonkers. But I think a lot of people out there know that gold is going to have a pullback. Gold always has a pullback. Almost every freaking asset class out there has a pullback. In fact, if you zoom out to the all-time chart for gold, you can see that there have been some big pullbacks. We had them back in 2011. We had another one over here, and that's my point. But recently, gold has been roaring. But what happens when gold becomes more and more expensive? When people look at it and say, gosh, I don't think gold can go much higher at 4,200. We might have to rotate into other things. What do? They rotate into silver. And then when silver gets extremely expensive, what do you think players are going to go? They're going to go to other options. So as gold is peaking, as you can see by this chart here, that is like peak action right there. As gold is peaking, maybe it becomes way where it outprices itself. Just like a lot of people believe that Bitcoin is outpricing itself, and that's why a lot of people rotated into ETH. Now, Brad Garlinghouse, Dixon, let me share with you something. Did you notice that Brad and Danelle haven't said anything about the crash? Honestly, think about that. I've got Brad's Twitter up on here, and he usually says quite a few things. But since the crash, he hasn't mentioned a single thing. Go to Danelle Dixon's Twitter, and you're going to notice the same thing. She talks about development, she talks about growth, financial systems, blah, 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 but nothing about the price. Why is it that these two CEOs who are heavily dependent upon the price of XRP and Xlm to help them out with funding, because we've seen, and it's fair to say it, right? Ripple benefits from the price of XRP. They dump every month and they use it to fund their operations. Stellar Xlm does the same thing. You wonder how they're all flying to all these places. They're using their Xlm they got in their stash. When they sell it, they use the money to, host things like Meridian and so forth. But think about this. Brad and Danelle, the two CEOs here, have said nothing about price, nothing about the crash lately, and it makes me wonder why. Are they not worried about the price? Are they more looking at it from a building sense? Are they not worried about the shareholders, or I'm sorry, the crypto holders of XRP and XLM? I want to know what you think. Why are Brad and Danelle quiet about price, but they talk about everything else? Surely they're not afraid of the SEC anymore going after them because the whole Gary Gensler's, they're all gone. Atkins, although a total fucking loser who's not helping us out with the ETFs, they're not going to go after CEOs for comments like this. I want to hear what you think down below. Now, overall in the crypto market, volume is fairly strong right now for a Sunday, $120 billion. One of the things that we're going to be paying attention to tonight, the gold market. Why? Because we want to start seeing gold did have a little bit of a pullback here. I'll show you that chart. I'll jump right back. This is a little bit of a pullback from gold, so we're going to see, and we're also going to see if any progress was made with the politicians. Now, speaking of XRP price action, okay, we're getting a little bit more in the green, girlfriend. We're sitting at $2.40 right now, but as of late, what have we noticed? 250 is where we started getting pushed back down on the 14th and 15th of October. And when you look a little bit before then, it was right around the 262, 263 mark. So as we start clawing our way up, I am being cautiously optimistic. I'm seeing the volume look healthy because think 3 billion for volume for XRP is actually pretty good on a Sunday. And what is going to be happening tomorrow? Oh, the Senate gets back to work. And maybe these losers are actually going to vote and make the shutdown go away, because once that shutdown goes away, then we could start working on regs again, and then we can start working on ETFs again. So we've got a few things lining up in our favor. Gold, it's getting a little expensive, and the gold to BTC ratio suggests that what? We're almost at the bottom, if not at the bottom, and players are going to rotate from gold into BTC. A little bit more risk. They could take some of the hedging of risk off the table, as you've seen right here with the peak in gold. But we're also noticing that the volume is healthy. This is something that I think a lot of us have been paying attention to, because we've had some pretty rough weekends with volume, but this isn't. Players are making moves. And I just wanted to share with everyone that yes, although Brad and Danelle aren't talking about price, we're talking about price, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad, and the things that affect price. So no, setting crazy midnight network targets for smart contracts, Charles, isn't going to do shit for you price wise. What is big macros. The Senate fixes the shutdown, crypto will roar again. We get regs, crypto will roar. We get the ETFs, those specific cryptos are going to get way more support. So, yes, developer growth is important. That's what Brad and Danelle talk about. But I think for all of us, the most important thing is price action. And the news that creates price, I'm going to share with you. So while others are silent, I won't be. So when will we find out about the Senate and their next vote? Well, as soon as I get the information, I will share that with you. We're expecting to get some news later today, giving us some expectations for Monday and Tuesday. And again, we're looking for 6 Democrats to jump on over to end the shutdown lock. That being said, we've had 10 votes so far, and we have garnered 0 out of the 6 votes needed to unlock this thing. Yeah, a little bit of trouble here, but I'll keep you informed. Now, in terms of that XLM-backed ETF, seriously, it's linked at the end of this. Check it out. I think that's a good thing. We don't want ETFs and ETPs that just track prices. We want them to actually hold the crypto. Right? I mean, what's the point of tracking? We all can just do stuff that tracks. No, we want the actual juice aroni. Speaking of, Armstrong has a great point. Working for crypto exchanges isn't for the faint of heart. It is a very demanding job. And being a crypto player like you and I are isn't an easy thing either. We've gone through a whole bunch of stuff. Hell, a year ago, we were going through what? Gary Gensler bending over crypto every chance he had. And he was like, yo, girlfriend, this is crypto over here. He's like, and he's like, dude, I'm not even going to use any lube. So we've gone through a lot of stuff like this before. We've gone through the FTX crashes, the Celsius crashes, the Luna UST crash, a whole bunch of it. We've gone through the times when BTC got their ETFs, and then all of a sudden all the BTC maxis were like, altcoin fans, you suck balls, you're going to get screwed. And here we are, still doing well. And so for a lot of us out there, I think you have to just step back and you have to think we're in something new, something growing, something that doesn't have rules and regs, something where the exchanges can bend us over, screw us up with manipulation because no one's really regulating the exchanges the correct way. Why? Because the government doesn't understand crypto and, well, the laws aren't in the books yet. So just remember, we're not early in terms of the discovery of crypto. We're early in terms of the framework that crypto will be operating in. So until we get there, it is a bit like the wild, wild west, and volatility will be nuts. And yeah, we're going to have some nasty stops. In fact, my thinking is, yeah, we're going to go on up, and then something later down the road is going to send us on down. That's crypto. I specifically can remember when we had a little bit of Israeli tension going on and crypto took a poop. That came out of nowhere, and then what? We were good afterwards. Cautious optimism. Yeah, sounds pretty good. Now, if you want to see what I'm doing in Guatemala, my second channel is linked here up on the screen. Want to check out those 2 videos I told you about? Yeah, they're also linked up on the screen. Choo choo what? Even in Guatemala, you know the deal. Choo choo bitches.